morning, grade fives. It is Thursday, and you know what that means? That today is our last lesson of English for this week because tomorrow you have my permission to sleep late. It is a public holiday, and so you get to relax. As you can see, I don't know about you, but it is cold here where I am, and I'm here in Gauteng. And I feel already like an Eskimo in my thick jacket. I know I do tend to get cold quite easily, but it is very cold where I am. So I hope wherever you are that you are keeping warm and cozy and that you're safe and that you're inside. And more importantly, that you are ready to learn English. Okay, so remember, boys and girls, that any questions that you have, please send all your questions to grade5@worksheetcloud.com. And as I have previously done, let's begin this English lesson off with a joke. So the joke that I have for you today is, why was the frog so happy? Why was the frog so happy? Well, because it eats whatever bugs him. Oh, I hope you enjoyed that one. I enjoyed it. I enjoy all my jokes. I always laugh at myself. Anyways, okay, so what we are going to do today is homophones, and we are going to learn about this language concept. And some of you maybe already know homophones, so this will either be a revision lesson or this could be something brand new that you are learning about. And I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Okay, but before we begin on homophones, we need to warm up our brains and get into the mode of English. And so we're going to be doing a lesson starter, which is spelling. So I want to see how good your spelling is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to present sentences with incorrect spelling here and there, and you need to pick the correct one. So let's have a look. So which word is spelled correctly that means motion? The motion of the roller coaster made him very sick. Which one was it? Okay, let's see. The second one, will make this land into a great nation. Which nation is spelled correctly? Cried the politician. Which politician is spelled correctly? It was a special occasion. What is the correct spelling for occasion? And lastly, I must go to the optician. Which optician is spelled correctly to get my eyes checked? Okay, so maybe take a moment if you want to pause the video, pause it, choose the spelling which you think is correct. Okay, ready to go through the answers? Let's go. So motion, M-O-T-I-O-N. Nation, N-A-T-I-O-N. Politician, P-O-L-I-T-I-C-I-A-N. Occasion, O-C-C-A-S-I-O-N. Optician, O-P-T-I-C-I-A-N. Hope you got all of those correct. Hope you are a little bit more warmed up and ready to learn about homophones. So, what exactly is a homophone? Now, it depends where you are. Many people either say a homophone or homophone or whatever. However you say it, homophone. Okay, so let's see exactly what it is. So a homophone is a word. It sounds the same as another word, but has a completely different meaning. Okay, so if I look at the word homophone and I break it up into homo and phone. So homo means the same and phone means sound. So if we look at the actual word homophone, homo means the same and phone is sound. So it's words that sound the same. How cool is that? English is awesome. So when we put words together, they give a whole new meaning. Okay, so for example, I can say, I am feeling rather bare today. So you can see this person's feeling rather bare, very exposed. Look at how we spell bare, B-A-R-E, when you are feeling bare. But there is another bear. Have a look here. We have got the animal bear, which is spelled B-E-A R. So we've got two types of bears, and they sound exactly the same, but they are spelt different. The moment that they are spelt different, it gives a completely different meaning to the word. So bear and bear. Right. So let's have a look at some other examples. So here, for example, we've got here, which you hear with your ears, and here, come here. Okay. We've got wood. So in the forest, we can chop down some wood. Or I can say, would you please hand in your English homework? Then we've got blue. So I can talk about the beautiful blue sky. Or I can say she blew out the candles on her cake. Then we've got there and there, and we're going to speak more about this particular there and there, because I can guarantee you I teach this till I'm blue in the face, and still there are kids that get this wrong. So if I talk about there with E-R-E, I'm showing location there, put it there. But if it's spelled T-H-E-I-R, it shows possession. The books were theirs. And so it shows possession. Then we've got no, so no, you can't do that. Or I know what I'm doing, so intelligence-wise. Then we've got choose, so she chews gum, right? And then the other chooses, you should choose which sport you would like to play. Then see, what you see with your eyes, and this spelling of see is the sea in the ocean, by the beach. Then write with an R. Now please look at the spelling, because I always see, if you are right, tick, you got to correct. You are right, you are not wrong, you are right. It is R-I-G-H-T. And that right can also be you turning right. Okay. That's also the same spelling. And then write is what you actually write with your pen or pencil. W-R-I-T-E. So please remember that with homophones, spelling is so vitally important. Okay. Right. So we're going to do an activity called Spot the Mistakes. I am going to read this paragraph to you. Then I want you to pause the video, and I want you to quickly make a note of where you see the spelling mistakes are, or where they are in this particular paragraph. And then I'll go through the answers. Okay, so, dear sir, you asked me to write a letter to you for homework, so I have. You said I should choose what I should write. I could not decide what to do, so I will tell you about my holiday at the seaside. I had a good view of the blue sea from my hotel. It was a long way away from here. I hope you had a good holiday too. Okay. So, did you pick out the correct mistakes? Maybe pause it, go through it again, read it again, and let's see what you have come up with. Okay, so I've written the corrections in red. So, dear sir, you asked me to write, there's my write, W-R-I-T-E, a letter to you. The E-W-E is actually the name of a female sheep, ewe. For homework, so I have. You said I should choose, not choose, what I should write, the correct write again. I could not, remember if there's a K in front, it's the actual knot that we get. We tie a knot in our shoelace. Decide what to do. So not to, we have to with one O. So I will tell you about my holiday at the seaside, not seaside. I had a good view of the blue sea from my hotel. It was a long way. The other way is when you weigh yourself away from here. I hope you had a good holiday too. Okay, so that was just one activity to show you how homophones are so important, because if you write the incorrect homophone, it gives a completely different meaning to your language and to your writing in general. And so spelling goes hand in hand with homophones. Remember, it sounds the same, but it's spelt completely different. Okay, so now specifically, as I said, I want to talk about certain words that are a common mistake. It is a common error, and believe it or not, I see many adults that get this incorrect as well. Okay, so I'm going to start off with there. Now there's many there's. If I spell it T-H-E-R-E, okay, there is used when making a statement. So, for example, if I say, there are 11 players on a football team. So I'm making a statement, okay, that there are 11 players on a football team. So I can use it with making a statement, or I can use it to represent a place or a position. So, for example, put the shopping down over there. So the word there, and look at the spelling, E-R-E, can be used either to make a statement about something or to represent a place or a location of something. Okay, now the moment that I spell it E-I-R, it is there. Okay, and this there means it belongs to them. So, for example, I went round to their house for tea. So E-I-R is belongs to them. It is their house. Okay, it's not my house. It is their house. Right. Another example, they always take their dog with them on holiday. The dog belongs to them. Right. Okay, now the third one, there. So those are the three. So there, and then belonging there, and now there. So this one, it depends how you pronounce it. I pronounce it as there. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it's so this there is also, it's I find it's a little bit easier than the others, because there is a contraction for they are. And so whenever you see there, always say to yourself, they are. Always ask yourself, if they're talking about they are, it's going to contract and be known as they're. All right. So, for example, they're going to the market on Saturday. So if I have to take there and then expand it, it would be they are going to the market on Saturday. So always ask yourself, they are going to the market on Saturday. Does it sound correct? Yes or no? Okay. And then let's look at another example. I think they're lovely cats. Okay. So again, I think they are lovely cats. They're lovely cats. So there is a contraction. Right. Then we get to your. So again, these are common mistakes. So we have the three theirs. Firstly, E-R-E, which either makes a statement or shows location. We've got E-I-R, which shows belonging or possession. Then we have their, which is your contraction for they are. Right. Now this one, I see mistakes all the time. So that's why I had to bring this up. Right. If I talk about your, okay, it is showing possession or belonging. So, for example, I can say you can usually swap your with my in a sentence, and then the two, it should sound the same. That's when you know that you are on the right track or using the correct your. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So if I say, wow, your jumper is cool. If I have to replace your with my, it's still going to make sense. So if I said, wow, my jumper is cool, it would make sense. It's the only difference is that here I'm talking about my jumper, but your, I'm talking about yours. It's belonging to you. It is your. Okay, please take note of the spelling. Y-O-U-R. Right. Then another example, your mum is kind. So again, if I had to replace the your with my and say my mum is kind, it would still make perfect sense in terms of our language. But if I say your mum, I'm talking about your mum is belonging to you. Right. Okay, so that is the your, Y-O-U-R. Now, we have another contraction. Okay, so the same with there. This is your. Okay, and so you can see with the apostrophe, it means we've got a contraction. So instead of, so your is basically means you are, if I have to expand it, expand the contraction out. So you are, and it's to call someone something. Okay, so for example, or should I say, before I do my example, one way to work out the correct spelling is to try separating it into its two original words. Okay, so if I had to say you're fired, okay, then you sit and think, okay, what your am I going to use? Do you say you are fired, or do you say your, and remember, if you replace your with my fired, that doesn't make sense. So it can't be Y-O-U-R. You're with, and now open it up, you are fired makes sense. It is our contraction, U apostrophe R E. Right. Another example, if we split you're back into two words and say you are instead, the sentence makes perfect sense. You are fired. Still makes sense. Okay, so it's important to play around with it, split it up, and then just continually just try it out. Does it make sense? Does it fall in with the English language? And then just ask yourself and see if it's correct. Okay. So let's practice. Okay, so there are 5 different sentences on your screen, and there are different options for your and your and so on. So let's read. So you need to decide which is the correct spelling and which is the correct word for the sentence. So you're or you're the loveliest person in the world. I have never been to your or your house. If you're your going to the shops, don't forget to take your or your money. Number 4, your shoes are too small. Number 5, you're or you're going to need a new pair soon. Okay, so pause the video and I want you to, even if you just write 1 to 5 on your piece of paper, write which words is the correct spelling and the correct form and which actually makes sense in the sentence. Okay. And now let's go through the answers. Okay, so for number 1, remember, open up your contraction. So if I have to say, you are the loveliest person in the world, does it make sense? Okay, or, which it does make sense. If I had to, so the first answer is your. If some of you chose your, remember, replace your with my. So this spelling, O-U-R. And see if it makes sense. My, the loveliest person in the world, doesn't make sense. So it has to be your. Right. Number 2, I've never been to your house. Okay. If you said I've never been to your house, it does not make sense at all. So it is your. The house belongs to you. Number 3, if you are going to the shops, don't forget to take your money because it belongs to you. Always ask yourself, if you said don't forget to take your money, doesn't make sense. Number 4, those shoes belong to you. Your shoes are too small. And number 5, you're going to need a new pair soon. So you are going to need a new pair soon. Okay, and so now comes to the part of the lesson where we're going to have a little quiz. Are you ready? Okay, so you don't really need to write it down. You can say the answers out loud, and then I'm going to reveal the answers, and let's see if you are correct. Right, so sentence is as follows. His shirt was, let's look and see if it's the correct spelling. Do we say his shirt was loose or loose? What is the correct word? It is loose, which means it is loose. Loosey-goosey. Good. Okay, next one. Right, there are 10 cows in the... Which herd is it? 10 cows in the... Which spelling is correct? H-E-R-D. This herd is... I heard a rumor about... Okay, so different spelling. Then next one, take the, which spelling? Stare or stare? Take the, stare, S-T-A-I-R-E. R. Okay, this stare is if I'm staring at you. Okay, it's a little bit creepy. I won't promise. Okay, then we have, right, a brave. Which night is it? A brave night. Night, night. Correct spelling? Okay. A brave knight, when we've got a K in front of knight, that's really the only difference with the spelling is the K. We talk about the knights with kings and queens. King Arthur's realm. Okay, and the last one for today. The scented, which flower is it? Is it flower or flower? Okay, and it is flour. Remember that this spelling of flour, F-L-O-U-R, is the flour that we use with baking. Right, this flour is what we see beautifully outside, full of color. Okay. So I hope that you had fun. I hope that you got them all correct. Homophones are pretty cool. Like I said, the one thing that goes hand in hand with homophones is spelling. So remember, homophones, they sound the same, they are spelt completely different. Okay, I hope that you have had an awesome lesson as much as what I have, and that you just have an incredible rest of the day. Stay warm, grade 5s, look after yourself, and remember to take one day at a time during this lockdown. We are all in this together. Hakuna Matata, be kind to one another, and I'll see you soon. Bye.